government support task in Lake Ribiere, Quebec. Hello there everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of SnowRunner here at Oberfed Gaming. I am the Oberfed. Today we are driving our trusty Kenworth 963 and we're up at the warehouse. We are picking up 3 pallets of consumables. Now we're going to try and, hopefully we'll deliver them on time and properly to the first house, the second house, and the third house on the map in Lake Ribiere. That's the task, and we're going to do our best to fulfill that. Now we got the 3 pallets of consumables in the back, and away we go as we head out into the snow. There we go. Now it's a little ways to go. This isn't a quick, easy 1, 2, 3 job. We got a little bit of a route to go and crossing a huge, risky chunk of ice to try and just get to the first house. Then we got to go and climb over the hill over to where the ice racing was done, and the other 2 houses there are on opposite sides of the lake where they do their ice racing. But we're not there yet. We got a little ways to go and quite a few problem areas that we got to worry about. Now, the Kenworth is a very capable truck. Even though he doesn't have any chains on him, he is still one of the top contenders. Other than ice roads that go uphill or anything icy, he can pretty well, driving over top of ice is not a problem. It's just going uphill at an angle and trying to climb it is where he needs to change. Other than that, the Kenworth is a very, very capable truck, one of the top trucks in my fleet. However, he does have a long frame, and because of that long frame, we can carry the 3 pallets of consumables, but it makes turning in some places and some tight areas really hard to get in and out of. And if you don't have a problem with that, if you can manage to drive the truck with a larger frame, which I usually don't have too much of a problem with, but every once in a while we get a little bit of trouble. I like to use the Avonhorn that's sitting over there, but it was not the right truck for the job today. So we're in the Kenworth and we're going to do our best. Now slow her down just a little bit, otherwise you're going to lose it off the side of the cliff there. You got to watch out for big cracks, big holes in the rocks there. And in Quebec, Lake Ribiere and the harbor map, the ice is a real problem. Now I should probably say all the ice has ways to get through it, like around it and through special areas, but you have to learn how to read the ice, and we'll go through that when we get to our first ice crossing, which is coming up pretty quick here. First we got to get through the hill here and get down to ice level. Like I said, this Kenworth, I tell you, the main thing about him is you got to make sure you keep him on level ground from side to side. That is the issue that I had the most problems with. In this particular job, I got about halfway through and I flipped it one time, and then I redid the job and then I flipped it again, until I finally realized what I was doing wrong. And I will explain that as we go along, because I didn't flip it in this first section. I flipped it in the second part after we're already over the ice. So, but I'll let you know when we get there. Now, as we come around the corner here, I do believe we're going underneath a bridge construction going on around here, which is another thing that we got to worry about fairly soon, because we got road closures and bridges to build, just so that we can open up the infrastructure and start seeing where everything is on the map. And you got to have access to it. I mean, it doesn't do you any good if you know where it is but you can't get to it. Anyhow, as we're coming up around the corner here, we're almost at the ice level. Just a little ways wide. We got to go through a little bit of a muddy area here first. And there again, most of these regular driving areas with the Kenworth, well, most of the big trucks, there's not really an issue. You know, this is there again, you can stay on one side or the other, stay on mostly the the solid ground, you can get a little bit better traction, but it's just a matter of time getting it through there. See up above there, you can see the road that's got to get repaired somewhere down the street, somewhere down the road. That road's got to get repaired. Now somebody left a trailer here. I imagine that's a high saddle trailer, and in that yellow box at the front is a maintenance module. That's, you got repair points, you got extra fuel in there. I think I might have already used some of the fuel in there, because of course you can, anything that's sitting around like that, you can use it as a mobile fuel station, just like if you have any vehicle sitting on the map, which is one of the main reasons why I don't recover my vehicles back to the garage when I finish a job, because you never know if you need the fuel out of that vehicle, or if you could use that vehicle for the very next job coming up. Anyhow, we're getting to ice level, and as you can see, we got to try and get across to the right hand side there. Now, there is no real good way to go. You know that when you drive on the big shards right at the edge of the water, they're usually fairly solid. However, some of them can be loose and can bounce your truck or give you damage, so you got to be careful of that. If you do drive over shards, make sure you go really slow. Then the other thing that you can watch for is the dark ice. You can see the little white lines going down, and that just shows that it's frozen. Now, as you can tell, I've tried to go through here once before, and that was one of my futile attempts where I made a mistake. See, we get a loose shard, you get some damage. And all that you got to keep under consideration. Now, after long study of the mini-map, this is the only place where you can come across. So you have to, the water is not deep, but you got to be at the right angle to the ice on the other side. Otherwise it won't climb up. There's a little bit off at an angle. Straighten it out a little bit and just go up against it. If you ram into it, you're just going to take more damage. So the best thing to do is just to roll up against it and then just torque over top of it. And then we're going to take a tight turn here, and of course, because of the long frame, like I was mentioning, sometimes you got to go back and forth a little bit. A lot of people don't like that. It's not a big deal. It's all part of the game. Just as long as we can get to where we need to go. Now, I try to stay a little bit on the right-hand side there because those rocks look a little bit too steep. But we got to go around the outside, the left-hand side of this here outcropping of rock. So, and we haven't even made it to the first house yet. But he is on the board. As you can see, the black arrow on the yellow diamond has appeared on the screen. Now over here, you have no choice but to stay on the ice. And like I said again, when I can't see any dark ice and I don't see any place where it looks like it might be solid, what I do is I tend to drive on the outside where the shards are. It's a risky move, but it's all you got left, because the middle obviously is not very solid. As you can see, the right-hand side of the truck is sinking in through the ice already. So we're just gonna roll along here. We know we got to climb up out of here, so we got our frame is long enough that the back wheels will be sinking in, but the front wheels are already out. So that really helps out. Now our drop-off point is just up ahead here. Maybe one more time. Oh, yeah, no, let's just drive over the rock this time. Okay. On the right-hand side, this house needs the very first load of consumables. We're just gonna, easiest way is just to back it in, and then we can just leave going forward. Just like that. Now, shortly after I leave here, I end up flipping the truck. So what I've done is I've just restarted from this position right here. However, it's not in my truck is not in the same spot, as you can see from here to here. This is a new video. This is my third attempt at this section of the task. And there's only one little area that stopped me, and it's not a big deal. But if you're ever driving down in off-road, four-wheeling, and there's a rock on the road, do not try to go over top of it. If you cannot straddle the rock, go around it, because these rocks are positioned there by the people who make the game to get you to drive over top of them, so that your one side of your truck will raise up. Now these little ones right here, not a big deal. That's not a big deal. But when you get up top here a little ways, you'll understand. Now the Kenworth, like the Avonhorn, is also one of the ultimate snow climbers, because there's not a lot that stops the Kenworth. Like I said, ice, but any kind of climbing like this, I haven't even put it into a lower gear yet. I'm still in just regular automatic. Anyhow, straight ahead there, you can see that big boulder, and I tried driving over top of it or on the right hand side of it, which is very angly, and all I had to do was drive right here on this side to the left of it. You get around it, and bada bing bada boom, we're around it and we're off and running. I made that same mistake 2 times in a row. Anyhow, we got by it, and now we just got to climb over top of the hill. And we got a couple of little dicey spots, but when you get to the other side, there is there's a lake that we got to cross, and then on the other side of the hill of that, there's another lake, and that's where they do their ice racing. We had a contest on there, and I think we did all right. Roller coaster racing. It was fun. Anyhow, we're getting to the top of the hill here. We're just chugging through the snow. This game is just absolutely fantastic. If you take it easy, and if you're not in a hurry, all these jobs that they have that they get you to do can be done, obviously. It's only operator error that gives us our problems. So usually what my trouble was is I was just gung-ho and I just jumped in with both feet. And you gotta do a little bit of, prep work when you're doing these jobs. You gotta know where you're going, you gotta know your route. And the thing is, when you do all these different tasks, by the time, and clearing the roads and building the bridges and stuff, by the time you get to the contracts, you'll know your map very well, because it sticks to you really quickly as to where the roads are and where the best ways to go is. So it helps you out doing it that way, going a little bit slower and being a little bit more methodical about it. Now, we can go around that big rock to our right-hand side, and it'll just make a semicircle back to where we're going to go. So instead of going around on the road where we thought we'd go around on the ice. Now, like I said here, the problem of the long frame really shows itself. As you can see, you can sort of see where the S-curve is, where you're supposed to drive, but this truck's just too big for that. But it doesn't mean we're not gonna get it through there, because we have to. We got to get to the other side. As you can see, straight in front of our truck right now, you can see a little track that goes up. That's the one we got to be on. So we can't go straight to it because the ice will break. So we're gonna have to go over to the side here and kind of try and go around to the edge of this hole here. And hopefully we won't get stuck. We do have a tree on the other side we can winch ourselves with, so not really too worried. Just like that. Now here, I should have gone forward a little straighter right here before I turned to the left. I started turning too quick, and by doing that, it just pushed the front end of the truck over and ends up running into the rocks there. So as you can see, the longer frame, there are some drawbacks, it is a little bit of a pain every once in a while, but if I didn't have the Kenworth and I was, say, using the Avonhorn, I could only move 2 pallets. So that means that I would have delivered the first pallet and gone back for 1 more. So that's a lot of extra driving. This way you can do 3 deliveries all in one shot. There is our Tuz 420 to Terran. Like I said, when I finish a job, you just leave them there. If I was running low on fuel, or if I thought I needed more fuel, I would have taken it out of the Tuz. The next time when there's any kind of scouting job to be done that's close to where he is, I can just take him and go over there. Lots of advantage to leaving your vehicle after you finish the job. Now as we're coming around the hill here, coming around the mountain, we're going to go straight here. Try and avoid this tree as best you can, and without flipping the truck, of course. That would be just a pain if I flip the truck now, after all that. Because we're really close by the last 2 houses. There's one more troublesome area coming up in a little bit here. Now we go straight here and then down the little incline, and I should have just drove straight across the ice there. It's solid enough that you can drive over it, and for some reason, I don't know what I was thinking, I wanted to, a little bit of damage, wanted to follow the tracks here, and thought to go up here and then go around, and that way miss the middle, but it is very, I mean, look at how far your truck is going to angle. So I thought, no, I don't think that's the right way. I think we should be able to go through this. Sometimes it's trial and error, and you just got to give it a chance. And as you can see, yeah, you go down a little bit, but it won't hold you. Plus, there's enough trees around that if you do have a problem, you can use your winch. Now we got a little bit of a, I don't know what you call this, a little passing through area here, rocky area. And we are just about over to where the ice fields are. The camera flips it up like that. There we go. Okay, now we've got our last little problem area coming up here. Right over here by the rocks. Now, you just got to keep it a little bit to the right hand side here. Don't fall into that crack. Too far to the left. There you go. And just climb around the side of that hill, and then we're almost at ice level. Just got a little ways left to go. Now you got to be careful here, because if you don't keep your vehicle close to the rocks on the right hand side, every time you move it does slip and it slides a little bit to the left. As you can see, it continues to do that. So you do have to try and keep it to the right hand side as best you can, and then just slowly go around the corner. Over here we gotta take a turn to the right. Just every once in a while the snow bogs them down, eh? Take a turn to the right here, and then around in this half moon and just stay left, because there's one house is at this side of the ice, and the other house is at the other side. So as we're coming around the corner here, you can see where the next place is, and we're just gonna come in through the back into the backyard, and we're going to roll around the side of the house and just jump out the front onto the ice after we deliver the consumables, of course. Right up here. Just like that. And we've got one left to go as the sun is starting to go down. Now, I should have gone a little bit to the left there. I went over here. Where's a little bit of a drop off with that rock, but it was okay. It wasn't too bad. And then if you, there again, read the ice, you can see where the dark parts are. You can see where there's car tracks, truck tracks, I suppose. And you follow those. And as long as you do that, see here, I went a little bit high. I should have pulled it back a little bit, but not bad. But Like I said, this lake's pretty good. Most of it is fairly solid and you don't have too much of a problem. Absolutely fantastic delivery again. Looks like we're gonna have a successful one. Just love it. Really enjoyed this video, and I hope you got some tips and tricks out of it. Hope you enjoyed the video as well. If you're just watching it for the fun, that's absolutely fantastic. Anyhow, until the next time, we've been working on the government support task where we were delivering 3 pallets of consumables to 3 different houses in the Kenworth 963. With me as your driver, the Opafet.